All right, welcome everyone to TD SportsPress. We are here on this Thursday evening with our upset alert meter, our segment that everyone likes to tell us that we have no idea what we're talking about. We have the upset meter coming in today. We are also going to be discussing some huge games that are going on this weekend. We caught the first half of the games on Tuesday. We're going to finish our predictions here. And then, as always, we'll finish the show with our best bet segment, which will be at the end of the episode here. So with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's get right into. I wanted to finish my playoff predictions, or excuse me, our playoff ranking predictions. The one thing I wanted to add with the playoff predictions, or the one thing that doesn't make sense to me, is if you look at where number 18 Miami is, they have 2 losses right now, and you look at where Notre Dame is at number 10, they have 2 losses as well. They have the same exact record, and these guys played in week 1, if you guys didn't know, and Miami beat Notre Dame. So with the committee, my question to you is, how is Miami 18 and Notre Dame 10? And I can tell you exactly why the committee did that. Miami has lost more recent games than Notre Dame, and that's not part of the criteria. It shouldn't be that way, but I'm just looking at that. I'm really confused how Miami and Notre Dame have the same record, but Miami's not ranked higher than Notre Dame. I think they did a great job with the head-to-head. Texas and Oklahoma did a great job with that. Michigan and Washington, they did a great job with that. But that's just one thing that I'm really confused by, is why are we honoring those head-to-heads, then suddenly Notre Dame is 8 spots higher than Miami. I'd understand if it was like Miami was 15, 14, but like, how could you have Notre Dame 10 and Miami 18? At the very least, they need to be within 5 spots. But that was the one thing, another takeaway that I didn't mention on Tuesday that I had, was I was really confused. How is Miami clear down there where Notre Dame is clear at number 10? Very interesting. I just wanted to, clear the air there. So with that being said, let's go to everyone's favorite segment that is not sponsored by anyone. So it's Upset Alert Meter, sponsored by TD SportsPress, because we're too poor to get a sponsor. Anyway, we're going to start it off. As you guys know, the Upset Alert Meters goes from 0 to 100. 0 from the least likely to get upset to 100. It is red hot, and it's looking not good. So with that being said, let's go right into Friday. Number 19, USC, Northwestern is going into USC tomorrow. USC is a 14-point favorite to win this game. Northwestern is a really good football team. They've picked up some really good wins recently. They played with Nebraska a couple weeks ago. On my upset alert meter, I'm going to put this at a 35 out of 100. If this was at Northwestern, it'd probably be higher to 50. But with this being at USC and that cross-road travel, cross U.S. travel, it's really hard for me to really put it higher than that. I think USC, they didn't have their best offensive showing last week against Nebraska, but I think USC has one of the best offenses in the country with one of the best quarterbacks. So, and Northwestern, this is a great spot for Northwestern to pick up another win, but I just don't see it happening here. So I really like USC here. I put a 35 out of 100. I would say I'm monitoring it, but like it's not where I am concerned about it. I would say that. Moving on, number 2, Indiana, going to Penn State. Indiana's a 14-point favorite. This is at Penn State. Penn State played Ohio State last week. When I'm looking at this game with Indiana on the road going to Penn State, there might be a new factor here, but Indiana travels well. Look what they did when they went to Oregon. Went and won convincingly, I would add that. So I'm gonna put this one at 35 out of 100. Same as Northwestern USC. I'm gonna have to see it to believe it. Penn State definitely has the roster to do it. They don't have their quarterback Drew Aller, but the roster around it. The biggest disappointment with Penn State so far has been the running back room. Though that running back room could have been one of the best in the country this year, and that's what I thought was going to happen, but they're not. I don't know why they're not, but it's just not. Next game on the upset alert meter. Number 5, Georgia will be going into Starkville to play Mississippi State, who is coming off their first SEC win for their head coach that is currently there. They have 5 wins. They are 1 win away from being bowl eligible, which would be huge for the program. We talked about that in July. So how do I see this game? I'm putting a 70 out of 100 on this. I'm not saying that Georgia's not going to win the game, but Georgia's really played with the competition. I mean, you look at both teams, there's not really a lot separating Mississippi State and Georgia. And you guys, some Georgia fans might be saying, what are you talking about? Look at the way they beat Florida. Look at the way they beat Auburn. Like, I think Mississippi State is right with Auburn and Florida. It's at Starkville. I'm putting a 70 out of 100 on it. It is on the monitor. So it is on the monitor. We'll see. I mean, it's hard to go to Starkville. Yeah, you know, if Georgia doesn't start off fast, it's on my radar. We're going to put a 70 out of 100 on it. That might be the highest this week. I don't remember. Moving on with the slate. Number 1, Ohio State is going to Purdue. I'm like a 20 out of 100. Like, I just don't see it happening. Ohio State is one of the best defenses, and they just play every game. That's the one thing that they just win. They just win. I'm not really going to talk about it too much. They're going to win the game. That's all that matters. 20 out of 10 on that one. Moving on, we got some 1 o'clock games. Number 3, Texas A&M is going to number 22, Missouri. Texas A&M is favored by 6.5. Missouri's playing their freshman 5-star quarterback. If you guys didn't know, I'm sure everyone's talked about it. Man, I'm going to put this one at 50 out of 100 for Texas A&M going to Missouri. Missouri's going to be hungry. Like, they need to win one of these games to make the college football playoff. Like, this is desperation mode for Missouri. They have to have this one to make the college football playoff. So that's why I'm going to put a 50 out of 100. It's on the radar. It's right at 50, but we're not sounding the alarms. We're right at 50. It's on the radar. It's like one of those, never mind, we're not going to go that far. Next game, number 9, Oregon is going to number 20, Iowa. It's going to be terrible weather. I'm putting this one right at 80 out of 100. I am pretty close to picking right there. So we'll be talking about this game later, but I'm putting it 80 out of 100. I feel like both teams, I'm going to talk about why I have it that way in a minute. But I think that Oregon's on upset alert. I think they're on upset alert. And maybe some people are saying that Iowa should be higher than Oregon. Maybe it's not an upset. I'm calling it upset, though. That's where I'm leaving it. Syracuse is going to number 18, Miami. Miami's coming off a loss to SMU. Not worried about this. I think that Miami bounces back. At least I hope they do. That would not be good. Auburn going to Vanderbilt. This is going to be another huge game in the SEC. Auburn just fired their head coach, so we're going to see what they look like with this new guy they have. Vanderbilt coming off a loss as well. I think Vanderbilt wins this game. I'm going to put a 55 out of 100 on this. Like you just look at it. I don't know. Very interesting with Auburn. I'm interested to see whether they're going to start a quarterback, that freshman, or they're going to start Jackson Arnold. So that's why I would say it's on my upset alert meter right now. That's what I would say. Moving on. Wake Forest going to number 14, Virginia. Virginia's a 6.5-point favorite. Virginia's played with their opponents, but they've been on the road. I'm going to put a 30 out of 100 on this. I think Virginia wins this game at home. It is, like I said, it's not on the road. It's at home. I think they win this. The other ACC game is California going to number 15, Louisville. I'm going to put a 15 out of 100. Not worried about it. I think it's a great spot for Louisville. Louisville really does a great job running the football. So I'm not really concerned about that game. Last game here. LSU going to Alabama. I'm going to put a 45 out of 100. Not on the meter yet. It's at 45 out of 100. We're going to get LSU's best effort, I think, that we've seen the entire. Will that lead to a win? I don't know. But we are going to give their best effort. This is going to be LSU's best game of the year. I think we're going to see some of the best from LSU in this game. Is it going to be enough to beat Alabama? I don't know. But I feel like they're really going to rally around their head coach that they have now because they haven't before. So definitely on the radar. Okay, well, that is our upset alert meter for the week. Some great games right here, that, like I said. So let's move right on to our prediction show. We're starting at this one right here. Number 3, Texas A&M is a 6.5-point favorite, going to play Missouri. And we talked about this game on the upset alert meter. I look at Texas A&M. They are coming off a bye. Yep, they're coming off a bye. Going to number 22, Missouri. I think Texas A&M is a really good squad. I think Missouri's a really good squad, too. They're coming off a bye after playing Vandy 2 weeks ago. They don't have the quarterback, Bo, the transfer from Penn State. He won't be playing this game. They're going to give the nod to a 5-star quarterback or freshman quarterback. Texas A&M, they just have to keep winning. That's what I would say. Missouri, the more you look at Missouri, they need some things to go their way in the college football playoff. This would be the most ideal situation for them, is to pick up a win against Texas A&M. How do I see this game going down? I think Texas A&M is going to win this game. I really like Marcel Reed. Marcel Reed in the run game at Texas A&M, I think it's going to be too much for Missouri. I don't think Missouri can score enough points to keep up with Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M is kind of underrated in a way. We don't really talk about them, but they are a really good football team. So I will be very interested to see how this game goes for Missouri, because, this is Missouri's last shot. Like, they're in desperation mode. So part of me really does want to pick Missouri. I just don't think that they can get the job done against a Texas A&M team that has their sights on something bigger than the SEC championship right now. Let's be real. I think they really want to win a national championship. So I find that very interesting. So we'll definitely see what that looks like, I would say. So moving on, our next game we're going over. The game why probably a lot of you guys are on here. We have number 9 Iowa making the trip to number 20 Iowa. Or number 9 Oregon making the trip to number 20 Iowa. Sorry if I messed that up. We're going to try it again. Number 9 Oregon is making the trip to number 20 Iowa. And this is going to be, some people call this hawk weather. It's going to be cold, rainy, snowy, whatever it's going to be in Iowa. Not going to be pleasant. It's going to be dark in the middle of that game. That's a 2:30 Central Time, but we just had daylight savings. Oregon's going to have to beat Iowa at what better than Iowa can beat Oregon. And that might be confusing to some people, but what I'm saying is the way Oregon wins this game is they have to run the football better than Iowa can run the football. And some of you guys might be saying, well, Iowa always has one of the best rush attacks. They do have one of the best rush attacks. They put a lot of points up. But man, Oregon's going to have to win this game in the trenches. It's going to have to be whoever wins up front is going to win this ball game here. This game was really tough. This is why I waited till Thursday to make a pick. I would honestly stay away from this game, but if I'm going to have to make a prediction here, I'm going to trust number 9 Oregon to win this game. I think they're going to win it. It's not going to be pretty. It might be a field goal, a 20-yard field goal, make something to that nature. I think that Oregon wins this game on the road. I would be shocked if I really do want to pick Iowa. I just can't. I'm going to trust Dan Lanning. When all else fails, you trust Dan Lanning unless he plays Ohio State. And that's a joke, and that is all pun intended. So that's what I currently think with that game right there. So I think that Oregon wins that game. Moving on. Our next game here that we have on the list, number 4, Alabama is a 9.5-point favorite playing LSU. Number 4, Alabama coming off a bye. They're coming off a bye after playing South Carolina pretty close. They did win that game. LSU coming off a bye and obviously firing Brian Kelly in their bye week. Both programs have momentum going opposite ways right now. Alabama's going up since that Florida State loss. And LSU, they got that one against LSU, and they're going down. So I look at this game as teams going in different directions. You look at, the paper, you look on paper, man, LSU's going to have to figure out a way to run the football. That's the only way I see LSU beating Alabama is can they get a rush attack. They haven't been able to run the football the entire year. That's the one thing that Alabama's not good at. Alabama's pass defense is top 14. And LSU's going to have to figure out how to way to stop, or slow down. I wouldn't even say stop Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson has been incredible lately, I would definitely say. So they're going to have to find a way to stop Ty Simpson. He's definitely been good lately. Man, 9.5 points is a lot. I'm going to take LSU to cover here. I think Alabama wins. But, man, 9.5 is a lot of points. Alabama and Kalen DeVore's history, he plays a lot of close games. He wins those close games. Look what he did at Washington when they went to the national championship. Look what they've done this year. Very interesting. I think that Alabama wins this game, like I said, but I think LSU keeps this close. I think we're going to get LSU's best effort of the season in this game with their having an interim coach, and they're playing for that interim coach instead of Brian Kelly. So that's definitely a game that I'm going to keep my eye on as the day progresses because that's a huge game. Because maybe LSU keeps their playoff chances alive. Will be very interesting. Moving on to our last game before we get to the best bet of the week. If you guys have made it this far in the episode so far, go ahead and leave a follow. Subscribe to us. We're at 24 subscribers on YouTube right now. We're 6 subscribers away from 30. If we can hit that by Sunday, that would be awesome. So, and like I said, check out our TikTok as well. We're almost at 15,000 followers. We're like 400 away. We're trying to hit that by Thanksgiving, which would be really awesome. If we could hit 15,000, would really help the channel out. So, with that being said, let's get into our last game prediction that we have on here. Thursday's episodes are a little bit lighter compared to our Sunday and Tuesday, so that's okay. So we got Nebraska going to play UCLA, who is a 1.5-point favorite in this game. Nebraska obviously doesn't have Dylan Raiola, but Nebraska's defense last week against USC was really stout, I would say. USC has some of the top metrics in the country, and Nebraska really held Nebraska. Nebraska's defense did what it was supposed to. The offense just couldn't score points with Raiola getting hurt, and they just couldn't get the job done. But they really the defensive unit for Nebraska is really good. This is why I think when this game we're talking about Nebraska, it's going to come down to Nebraska's offense. What are they going to produce against a UCLA defense that's been giving up points? They've been giving up points. Even when they win, they're giving up, 21, 24 points. I think Nebraska, in order to win this game, can Nebraska score 20 points? That's what this game is going to come down to me with that backup quarterback. He's going to get a full week of reps, so that'll be very interesting what that looks like. I'll definitely agree with that. I'll be very interested to see what it looks like. I'm going to take Nebraska to win this game. I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to take Nebraska. Defense travels. If you guys didn't know, defense travels. Sometimes the offense doesn't travel, but Nebraska is a hard-hitting football team. I love the brand of defense they play. Like I said, it's going to come down to the offense. Can they score 20 points? If the offense can score 20 points, I think that Nebraska's defense will hold UCLA under 20 points. And I might be a meme on Twitter on Sunday if this goes terribly. So I have my reputation on the line, I would definitely say. Moving on to our favorite segment, the best bet of the week. We always use this on Thursday. Right now, we are 4-0 in bets of the week. So to give you guys a little recap on the best bet of the weeks, we started this a month ago. We picked BYU to beat Arizona, and then the next time we picked Ohio State minus 24.5 against Wisconsin. I think it was Wisconsin. It was somebody. It might have been someone else. The next bet was BYU to beat Iowa State. And last week we did Texas minus 2.5 to beat Vandy. Then the best bet of the week for college football this week. Take Memphis minus 3.5. They're giving us 3.5 points against Tulane. I think a lot of people really like it. I think they have a really good head coach. But man, Tulane's kind of tooling off a little bit. I think that Memphis is really for real. And this is at Memphis. I think Memphis in the metrics, they really like Memphis this week. They think this line should be closer to 7 to 8 points. And I'm going to trust the metrics on here. So the best bet of the week is Memphis minus 3.5 against Tulane. Our model thinks that should be about 7. So if you guys gamble or bet or whatever, I would hit that. Obviously, we can't do that in the state we are in. But that's what I would say. Very interesting game. I think that, like I said, I think that, I think that Memphis pulls that one out. So, with that being said, that is our full episode. We're normally about 20-minute episodes, so that's about an hour a week. Appreciate everyone that's been following the page, doing all those good things. It really does help us out. And with that being said, that's our full episode. We'll be back here Sunday night for Week 11 takeaway, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Make sure you guys set your notifications on YouTube so you guys get notified when we go live on Sunday night. Do all those good things. Check out the TikTok. That's where all our short form content is. YouTube's where we do our long form, and also Spotify as well. So thank you guys for all the listeners that we get. Really does help us out. Check us out on Twitter, linked in our bio, I'm pretty sure, as well here. And with that being said, I think we're going to hop off here. Have a great evening. Have a great Thursday night. And we will see you back here on Sunday.